July 1st, 2025 Conservation Meeting. We're going to start the first, oh, there we are. The first 15 minutes doing paperwork, and then we'll open the hearing at 7:15. Oh, I need to read this. While we're reviewing our items, this meeting is being recorded and broadcast via our local cable access channel, WCAT, Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. If anyone in the audience is recording, please let us know. When you're ready, I'll have a motion to accept the minutes for May 14th.
Make a motion to accept the minutes for May 14th.
Second.
All in favor?
I, Philip Woodford.
Aye, Karen Dusty.
Aye, Joyce Ihawker. Corinne, can I have the paperwork for, you're so far away now. It's really bizarre.
You
This
can
is a
sit
new
up here by
desk?
us if you want to.
And it's very weird.
That's payroll and
We were all closer before. Okay. Didn't we just pay this, MACC?
that's the dues.
Didn't we just pay that in December? I vaguely remember paying this recently.
I'll have to check on it. Because I thought it did go through. Because we had to add Karen to it. Karen's not on, we had to add her to it, which I emailed them.
Oh, okay. Does it cover?
We had to pay the 120 for, or 130 for us to go to that.
Yeah, no, this is just to belong to MACC, and then you get a password to access, I mean, well, you have to create a password, but you
Yeah,
remember.
we've already done that. I've already done that.
You're part of MACC.
If you weren't listed on this one. I did
I know.
email them to put you on.
So is it 157 per person, Corinne?
No, that's for the whole group. It's not gonna go up because she's a member.
Right, but we already paid, I thought, in December. Maybe we should double check.
I'll double check it.
So
All
you
right.
know what, we'll make a motion to approve this barring any, you know,
Yeah, barring any,
previous payments for this
Correct.
year's. And you
and
just,
that might be fiscal year 26.
fiscal year 2026.
So this is the coming year.
I don't know when their fiscal year starts. It could have started, I think it started in January.
Oh, okay. So, I don't know.
Yeah, call and check. And if not, then we'll, okay. All right, so can I have a motion to, is that the only bill we have, Corinne?
That's it.
Wow. No, and no Vinnie? Nothing from Tim? Okay. Can I have
Because we're a little early.
a motion to pay MACC if
If it's not.
we need to?
Make a motion to pay MACC in the amount of $157, barring any previous payments.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye, Philip Woodford.
I, Karen Dusty.
Hi, Joyce Ihawker. And can I have a motion to ratify payroll?
Is it just the 1 week?
It's just the 1 week.
Make a motion to ratify payroll from June 15th through the 28th in the amount of $235.30.
Second?
All in favor? Oh, all in favor?
Aye, Philip Woodford.
Aye, Karen Dusty.
Aye, Joyce Ihawker.
Was there a reason for that out?
Yeah, little brain fart.
Okay.
That's it. Do we have any forest cutting plans, any?
No. Nothing from
Really?
me.
All right, then we're gonna start. Are your people coming at 7:15?
I think Dennis might be online. Possibly.
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's new for him, so he might be trying to figure it out or.
Yeah, I don't see anyone.
Sure.
I don't wanna start early, cause like Kay said,
Yeah.
all right. Then,
You want to pick our next meeting date?
can I have that?
Certainly.
Oh, all right. Our next meeting date, for sure.
Now, if you have an emergency come up, you can get a hold of me and I can zoom in.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm wondering, Philip, you're going on vacation too, right?
I am.
When are you going on vacation?
July 18th through August 3rd, so it shouldn't interfere with August's meeting.
And when are you coming back, Karen?
I get back on the 28th.
Oh, wow, all right.
The 28th of July.
And I am leaving. I go on the 25th, then I come back on the 1st.
Okay. So
All
our
right,
normal meeting would be the 12th, is that right?
so you leave on the
13th.
18th.
August 13th.
That's the Wednesday.
Today is the 1st, okay.
Yeah, I leave on the 7th and I'm not back until the 28th.
I have the board of directors, okay.
So what day do we want to do our next meeting on the
Well,
normal
our
one?
next meeting should probably just be on our usual,
Okay, August 13th.
on the 13th. Can't believe it's gonna be August already, I still feel like. All right, I am going to. Not entry thingy. Okay, let us open, and we'll just move slowly. Because we are a little bit early on this, let's open the Crouch Road. We have a public hearing for Lot B, Crouch Road. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong document. That's it, right? It's Lot B, Crouch Road,
3B.
That was 3B.
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 And we have a representative here. Please
Yep.
introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Brian Hill. I'm a professional land surveyor with Land Planning Incorporated and a soil evaluator.
And Brian, tell us a little bit about this project.
Sure. So Dennis Cahalan contacted us. He'd like to move into the region. He's bought this lot. And he has this stream that he needs to cross. That's how he approached us. We looked into some alternatives to see if he really did need to cross that stream. And it turns out that we can't fit both the septic and the house in front, so we do have to cross the stream in order to provide a house, septic, and a well on the lot. We've looked at some alternatives, and we landed on what we feel is the best way to protect the wetlands and reduce disturbance areas, reduce impervious areas, provide plantings, provide a safe driveway, and provide the house my client wants.
Okay. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit. The area that we're generally concerned with, I highlighted everything in colors because
Sure.
it helps. Do you know how I get rid of this screen here, or am I stuck with that? Oh, look at that.
Movable.
There we go. Okay, so the area that we're primarily concerned with, your driveway is coming in over here. You're putting in an open bottom culvert
Yep.
over the stream right here. And there's two tiny areas that I'm circling right here with my mouse, if anybody can see that. And those are areas that will be impacted. And that is, it's not bank, it's just BVW, because you're skipping the bank altogether because of the type of culvert you're using. The total wetland area that you're impacting is 329 square feet. And you will be replicating that in this section over here, and you're gonna do 1.5 times,
Correct.
according to the math, which is good. You have, this is where the 100-foot buffer ends, and the house is located in the buffer for the most part, but it's in the outer 50. So we have a porch, the house, the garage. What is this?
Walkway to access the porch off the driveway.
Okay.
Because it's a walkout basement on the other side, so you have to walk down to the walkout basement.
Oh, on this side.
No, there's a walkout basement here.
Oh,
On
okay.
this side, so this is the front door, which is 9 feet above the basement, so.
Gotcha.
Flight of steps makes sense. It's a little tight in the
Oh,
front.
I see, steps, gotcha.
I wanted to point out one other thing that I didn't mention. There's an infiltration system for roof runoff to provide some roof runoff and groundwater recharge.
Oh, is that what this is right here?
Yeah, that's what that is right there, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't really sure what that was and was gonna ask you about that.
Sure. Yep.
It's gonna be like a rain garden with a gutter from the roof?
No,
Is that what
it's a
gonna be?
chamber system buried
Okay.
in the ground, and the roofs will connect to it, because the roof runoff is clean, so that's a good way to provide some recharge. We do this pretty standard,
Oh, you do?
yeah.
Cool.
I have rain barrels for my
Me too.
plants.
Worcester wants this on everything now.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Mhm.
Although I'd like my rain barrels so I can water my vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't rain. You know, I watered my plants today.
Did you?
Yes.
It's your fault
And then
that we
it
had
poured
the
on it?
storm.
It is totally my fault. That's
Yes.
exactly what I said too. All right, so this section right here, we walked the site yesterday, and there's an interesting little section over here that I am wondering if it isn't, like a spring or a seep of some kind, because there's like 1 or 2 obligate species, and that's about it. And so I would venture to say that the wetland probably follows this, right? This line right over here.
Like, I remember I pointed out there was some skunk cabbages up the hill too.
Yeah,
below
but there
this
was
flag.
only like 1 or 2.
Yeah,
And they, generally they're clumped together because it's really wet. You notice near the stream?
Right.
There was lots, and there was just like a random 1 or 2. We have a lot of seeps in this area. It's glacial till.
right.
And I wouldn't doubt that there is a seep. There's a lot of solar sites in town, and in the middle of nowhere, up gradient from any wetland, there's like these little seeps that are supporting wetland plants. And is that considered a wetland? Probably, maybe if the soils stay hydric for a period of time, but not really.
Sure.
So it looks like that. So anyway, that is gonna tie into my questions about, one of the things that I sent to you in April was a document asking about, asking you to address the questions on the, the wetland replication cheat sheet essentially. And a lot of the questions weren't answered.
Oh.
Yeah, so, I'm just gonna pull this, I'm changing the sheet. Here we go. This is the sheet. This is, the replication checklist and what needs to be, what we need to see from you
Mhm.
before we can approve the wetland. Now, generally speaking, the project itself,
Sure.
I don't, speaking for myself and not these two, I don't have a problem with the project,
Okay.
but before we move ahead, we need information.
Sure.
We do need this information. We need to understand where the groundwater is, where the, what the soils are. I don't know if you guys are okay with moving forward without that and receiving it later.
I think we talked
Generally-
about doing the soils testing as you worked, if I correct.
Yeah, I would, yeah, I mean, I'm a soil evaluator, we have wetland scientists, we have engineers, we can certainly help them to identify where groundwater depth is and put them within 12 inches of that at time of installation. We can certainly help assist with that. That's,
Are you, I mean, so the only thing with that is that, like, and then the planting plan, usually we have a whole thing. Like, right, this is what the replication area looks like, these are the plants that are gonna be in here, this is the location, this is what it's gonna look like.
we have a plant list and a number of plants, but we haven't necessarily placed them. They're to be placed in a general
Do
manner.
you have the plant list that you gave to us?
I believe it's on the plan, sure. Yeah, let me get to it. I believe it's on the-
I saw ferns, and it didn't even identify what kind of ferns. And then it was gonna be a wetland seed mix, which
Well,
is,
25 ferns, installed,
all right.
cinnamon fern, ostrich fern, and sensitive fern.
Oh, what sheet are you on?
This is, note 16 on sheet 2.
Okay. My bad. Note
So Nathan
16.
came up with this planting schedule. He's our wetland scientist. He's the one that flagged the wetlands and did the report. I can't speak to, his reason on that, but I think he felt that was
Yeah, I mean, mostly,
represented the wetlands in the area, so.
yeah, mostly that's what we're seeing there is,
And, we spoke about the soil testing. We had a methodology for determining groundwater depth with the adjacent depression, and maybe that's not sufficient. Perhaps we could handle this as a condition to do that at time of installation. Soil test at time of installation to determine groundwater and assist in groundwater.
right. Okay, so I'm gonna flip back.
Sure.
I'm gonna flip back. And I understand the need to get work done now, so I'd like to work. Personally, would like to work with you. I also, this thing drives me crazy.
Then I can certainly provide 1-foot contours. We have them, so that's not
So
a challenge.
ideally, what we'd like is a plan view of the wetland replication. What is this thing gonna look like? Other than the birch, is there existing trees that are at least facultative? Ideally, it makes sense for us to have a written document and for you guys, like, what is the area, it looked like the area, you had a couple of invasive plants in the area that you were impacting and a bunch of fern. And I didn't really see very much else, which makes sense that fern would be in the replication area.
Yeah.
But, and here is my thing, you're impacting, you're working right up to the hairy edge of the wetland. You're clearing a bunch of trees next to the wetland, so that's gonna impact the wetland. There's no longer a forested area, it's gonna be opened up, right? This whole section, you're grading this area. So it's no longer protected in that whole section, and although you're not impacting the wetland directly, you're indirectly impacting it by
So
having a driveway and all of that work.
I think I see where you're going.
So what I'm looking for is, what can you give back? And what can you do to sort of mitigate the loss of canopy?
So I noticed yesterday that the wetland is surrounded by silver birch. Perhaps we could propose some silver birch around the restoration area. We could provide some silver birch, like some 2-inch caliber silver birch to shade the restoration area.
Right, you're gonna try to leave the existing trees up.
No, I meant to provide some new ones around the
Oh.
edge, around the perimeter,
Yeah,
so that it could provide some shade for the ferns that we're planting.
right, okay. And then what about, like, in the existing, is there anything that,
We're proposing a bunch of trees in the buffer zone. I think we're proposing 8 trees in the buffer zone.
and you're gonna,
Around the limit of, kind of around the limit of the project.
plant those trees, or are you gonna try to leave existing ones?
No, that's all up and fill, so those will have to be new plantings.
And then,
And
okay,
there's ground cover proposed as well. The creeping juniper ground cover.
oh, okay, so that's not gonna be riprap, for some reason I had.
It's riprap with plantings. It's armored, but then there's plantings as well.
Oh, just mixed in with the riprap,
Right,
okay,
yes.
okay.
But I would definitely be amenable to a condition to add some silver birch around this restored wetland area. Seems like a very reasonable condition. And I can provide you a more detailed map with the actual 25 fern planting locations and 1-foot contours. That's a very easy thing to do.
So one of the things that you had mentioned in a response is that you didn't feel like you needed to do a soils test because you have that
Hydrology adjacent.
potential hydrology
Right.
adjacent, but you don't really know where your source is. So my
Yeah.
concern is
It
that
could vary, right.
it may not be a source at all, considering that it had, some weird it was some sort of structure or stone wall that was, it's kind of, whatever it was, it's kind of an anomaly.
Yeah,
And I suspect that your source of water is going to have to be groundwater, and you may need to go a little deeper than the 2 feet that you thought you may need to go down.
it's possible.
So you're closer to, the elevation of the stream in order to
Sure.
get that.
Sure,
Does that make sense?
sure, yeah.
So, with that, what's gonna happen is that you will need to figure out how your slope to get to it, which can't count for your replication. So that's extra. Your
Sure.
replication has to be whatever square feet that we agreed to. And then you have the slope to get to it.
Mhm.
And so what we're looking for is the plan that it includes the slope, right?
Yep,
Looking down, and maybe the cutout view, the side view, the plant, what is that called?
the profile view.
Yeah, the profile view
Profile view.
of what the elevation is and
Sure.
the composition for the A layer, the B layer, the materials that in it. So that's usually what we expect in a
Right.
filing.
Okay,
It's pretty standard stuff. So that's why it's, right? When we get a wetland replication, there's at least some version of an understanding of where the hydrology is coming from and what this thing is gonna look like.
so we have some ideas. We've dug soil tests in this soil at the septic location here, and the groundwater is 3 feet at the septic location. And we know the groundwater is less than 12 inches in the wetland. So we expect it to be between 3 feet and between 12 inches. And being so close to the wetland, we expect it to be 12 to 24. We believe that this design is bringing you within 12 inches and will provide groundwater at a suitable depth. But I would, as a soil evaluator, I can find the glaze soil. That's not hard to do. So as a, at time of installation, that would be great. Or we could provide, I could go out and dig a test pit myself with a shovel and send you that tomorrow.
That's what we're looking for.
Sure.
Before anything takes place. So this is what I am thinking. I would like to, I don't know, how do you guys feel? I'm like always yapping. Tell me.
If you're willing to go out and do that, I think that'd make the board feel more comfortable.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Sounds good?
Are you,
I'm happy with that.
I mean, can we do it as a condition? My only concern is the time of the
I know time is
fall
of the
coming,
essence.
and we want this wetland crossing done before that and cleaned up and buttoned up and,
I totally understand,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. I can have another meeting. You may be able to be talked into zooming in.
I can zoom in. I leave for the Bahamas on the 11th. I'm in North Carolina until the 11th.
I'm available Thursday. If you go out, do it tomorrow, and come back Thursday.
You're leaving on the 11th.
I'm leaving town on the 7th, but I'm going to the Bahamas on the 11th.
Can we do this either Monday or Tuesday? Next week?
I will zoom in Monday or
Is
Tuesday.
that, and then can we have this room?
I believe so. Do you want me to go check?
Yeah. You got it. We're gonna make this happen for you, but you need to make this happen for us.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So here's the reason I'm a little hesitant to put it in the conditions. Once the permit is issued, it is so much harder for us to rein it in, and although you may be an honest person, and on top of that,
Mhm.
I've been doing this for 20 years. And then there's been a lot of opportunities for things to go awry that have gone
Sure.
awry, so
We deal with thousands of, they didn't get the certificate, we're 4 owners later. We deal with it all the time.
just, there's
we
things that
know.
happen, and the
Yep.
lesson learned is that let's get it before we
Sure.
issue the permit.
Sure, that's
because-
fair.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
Okay, the only thing we have is that we have a sewer meeting on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. So I
Okay.
don't think that's gonna interfere with us
that is
at all.
so completely good. Can you do next Tuesday?
I can do Tuesday.
Can you do next Tuesday?
Sure.
I can do next Tuesday.
All right. So we're just gonna talk about a couple of more things. So
yeah, sure.
the plan,
Mhm.
honestly, most of the stuff that is in the replication checklist, it doesn't have to be like followed to the T, like, because it's a small replication.
Mhm.
But the basic stuff, right, let's, for the filing, just give us an idea of what kind of wetland plants were in the existing wetland that are being impacted. Wetland plants, and then the whole plan with elevations,
Yeah,
like legit elevations, right? Do your soils testing, survey it, can you survey it? And
Yep.
this is the elevation that we're hoping,
yeah, sure.
so
Absolutely.
we want the data.
Mhm.
Okay, or, show us a
Absolutely.
plan. And then, go through this replication checklist, fill it out,
Yeah, right, got it.
fill it out, get it back to us with the data, because we are ultimately looking for data. I want you to update your filing, because it is now no longer relevant. Mark Stinson asked for that. because he knew it was gonna change, in the, file number document. So you're a single family, you're doing in-law, you know, whatever, I mean, that's not like a huge thing, but these numbers are all changed, right?
Oh,
You're
we
no
need to
longer
work on
impacting bank, you're no
Yes.
longer doing, and if there's anything else that changed on here,
Sure.
one of the things that we have to fill out on our form, and I think it is 0, it's the distance from the linear distance in linear feet, the closest point of the buffer to the wetland, and that's like 0, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
right
okay,
up to the bank.
that is. I don't think that there's anything else in here that was like completely wild, but just, again, for our files, and then DEP. And then this is the other thing. Did you guys, or whoever did the wetland,
Field data forms?
yeah, did you have?
You don't have them?
No?
All right. Yeah, I thought you had the updated NOI and field data form, so.
No, I do
yeah,
have this is the NOI that we got,
I thought I had it updated already, and,
but there's no field data forms. You have,
Oh.
you know, the locust, the things that
Shoot.
are, you know, whatever, but there's
Right.
no field data forms in here at all, so we never got those.
oh, okay.
So if you have those, send them over.
Yeah, my apologies, I thought that was sent to you.
The field data forms. I don't have anything on here. I have like notes galore on here. Because you are not, and maybe I'll just send this to you. This is my version. I always write all over it because this is technology. We're no longer doing number 7. Because number 7 is replication of wetland resource area shall be done in unison with the filling of existing wetland. You're not gonna be using those soils. So the wetland replication, I would suggest, should be done in September. At the end of the season,
Mm-hmm,
when it's cooler
okay,
and it tends to take,
It's wetter.
and it's wetter.
Yeah.
But generally, you wanna do it either at the beginning or at the end, and since we're already towards, like, you don't wanna put that thing in the middle of the summer.
yeah,
It's,
the plants won't take, I get it.
yeah, it's painful for those plants. I mean, the ferns might take, but they kinda like the colder
Sure,
a little bit better.
mm-hmm,
And it's good, you can get some work done. If you need to put it in sooner before you do your, you know, putting in the, sorry, my words are completely failing me. This section right here,
mm-hmm,
you're going to be moving some earth around. If you need to put the replication in before, you're just gonna have to water it like rigorously. It's gonna be mostly in shade, I think. And I had a question about, you have your erosion control right here.
yes.
How is this going to be? Sorry, you're gonna put fill in
Sure.
and you're gonna have to grade it. Isn't the equipment supposed to go down here? Like, how are you gonna do that without? Do you have enough room? Is that,
So this sediment barrier would put in originally,
yeah?
and then this sediment barrier would be put in after replication is completed.
Oh,
Is-
I
Is
see.
the idea, is the idea.
As opposed to, don't you have a sediment barrier that's gonna go around the wetland replication area?
Yes, so that's the initial one. That's the initial one. And then once it's completed, then we can protect it from the rest of the work.
No, I mean like right up against it. Like,
All the way around it.
yeah,
I mean, that's what this barrier is for, because I can't put it really right here because we're grading all the way back to here. Because when we cut out the area for the replication, we have to then slope it. So there is excavation, there is
Oh,
slope
okay, so
here.
you're doing tree removal over there as well?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
No, because I did locate all the trees, up to this area, and the trees start just beyond that area. There are some trees about where my hand is, but not in that grading area. So you asked me to locate all the trees in the replication area, so I located all the trees in this area, including this grading area here.
So where is your tree clearing line?
The final resulting tree clearing is going to be up in here, at the edge of the lawn.
But your tree clearing up to here.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. The excavator will need to get from here to here, but there's no need to cut down the existing trees here. And we are lowering the grade here, but not more than a foot. They should be able to keep all the existing trees on a mound if needed. And
Okay.
there aren't that many trees in this area. Like I said, there are some trees about in this area that I did survey, but they're not in this area here. And I think we should probably, you mentioned, I think we should probably add some silver birch or maybe a red maple and some silver birch to shade this area around the replication area. I think maybe that does make sense.
So back to my question, when you're grading this.
Sure.
This erosion control won't be here yet.
I think it's best to put that in after they do this work. You could have it in and then make an opening and then close it back up.
I guess
I
my-
didn't really differentiate. We said all sediment barriers are to be in place,
Yeah, okay.
period. And that sediment barrier is on the existing grade.
So then I'm just gonna go back to one of my original questions that I sent in an
Mhm.
email. How do you get your equipment? This is pretty steep, right? Like, how do you get your equipment down to
Well,
here?
right now it's not steep. Once they place all the fill, it becomes steep.
So
Because this bridge is 8 feet high, so there's
I'm overthinking this.
yeah,
but-
there's like 6 or 8 feet of fill in here, but
Yeah.
before they place the fill, it's all flat.
Right.
Easy to traverse.
So you're gonna do the replication early. You're gonna do the replication before you do the rest of the site?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's not gonna happen in
It's not gonna happen
September.
in September.
It's gonna happen early,
I'm gonna have to
okay.
keep it shaded and wet.
Gotcha, okay, all right. All right, so that goes in first, and then the erosion and then you're gonna excavate, which is why, hear me out.
Sure.
You're gonna put this thing in first, because if you put it in after this, it's gonna be hard to get equipment down here without,
I mean, they can
too
leave
steep.
themselves a path in the meantime to know, they could leave themselves a little path right here, just knowing that they have to do it.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's say you do that first, and then you're gonna go and excavate this. This thing is gonna be like, again, I just feel, you'll put erosion control up to block this before doing the work over here.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is
Any work
like
he- any work
unrealistically
here,
close,
any
and how
work-
can they do that? How
Because
can you?
all of this work should
without-
be protected by that barrier.
Right. I just-
Except for they'll need a temporary access through it.
Right.
So you're thinking it should be closer to the replication
I think
area?
it should be closer to the
Downslope?
replication to give the workers room, so they're not running over it and then putting the stuff at risk.
We're putting about 8 to 10 feet of fill in this area,
Yeah?
and I really want to protect all that fill and make sure that we're not having any runoff from that fill.
Hmm.
And then we have a secondary barrier for the replication work. So I think of them as,
Oh,
I
you
think
have
of
a
them as,
second barrier for the replicate after that, but that's not shown on here?
Upslope?
no, this barrier here runs along the limits of all the fill that we're
Yeah.
placing. And then this barrier runs along only the work for the replication.
So that's
Okay,
not a
right.
protection for the replication, that's on the downslope side of the replication.
That's on the wetland side of the replication, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
What I think we want is to put another barrier between,
In this area,
yes,
But I'm also lowering the grade there, so it's gonna be hard, if I put a barrier here, I won't be able to do the work in the replication area, because we're trying to lower the grade.
Okay, but.
After you're done.
After we're done,
you're
after we're done.
After
we want
you're
a
done.
second barrier between where you're working
Okay.
and the replication.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
And just only because I'm concerned that there's if they have to move,
If they're filling in that close to
Yeah.
your barrier, you might hit the barrier.
Right, so there's a good chance
So
it
there's a
could,
good chance to break it.
so we just have,
right, that's,
So we would
that's,
just like
all
to
right,
have
that's,
that.
that's fair enough. I'll note that it should be added after the restoration area is
That would
completed.
be good.
Perfect.
Sure,
Yeah.
sorry, it took me so long to get there.
No, that's fine. I mean, when we used to build houses, I used to have to do that.
All right. I'm going back to my sheet. Okay, we're not translocating soils. Oh, yeah. So we just an idea of what you're gonna be using. The B layer, and we don't know if the B layer is gonna need amendments or not. Once you reach the B layer underneath the existing soils. Again, the test pit should show,
mhm,
once you get to the B layer in that area, is it the right composition to handle hydric soils,
sure.
right? Is it going to, is it too loose, is it too compacted, is it whatever, do you need to add amendments to it? Somebody, you need to figure that out, you're wetland scientist,
Okay,
just so
sure.
it takes. Because it's not always, sometimes it's a little more compacted because it's not under a wetland, right?
Fair enough.
So again, we're looking for that data. The pit and microtopography. That's kind of interesting, but is the area big enough for that?
Just not to have it so flat, just to have a little undulation.
Yeah, I mean,
and-
that's great. but-
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I said, a lot of this comes from the design guide that you referenced, and I felt we handled all of this. My engineers thought they had everything from that design guide, but, we can fill out that, it's not a problem to fill that out and get that over to you. We tried to put all the answers in here, and maybe that wasn't the right way to handle it.
well, maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, usually we have like a before and after, the data, like, is this what kind of plans are you
Sure.
putting? Are they facultative, are they obligate? What environments do they typically, what do they need for soils?
The field data
Just-
sheet would help as well.
Field
Yeah.
data
No, I
sheets
know.
is like helpful, so it doesn't, like, to me, these are a bunch of notes on a page, and I understand that it could be useful, but it's not clear to me that you guys are winging it.
Okay.
It kinda looks like it's being, it's a little bit of winging
I mean,
it.
we've done hundreds of these replication areas. I could show you photos of like a bunch of them that are successful, but they're all different. They're all unique.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So,
Right.
but we just wanna know that you know what you're getting into,
Sure.
and that this is a good spot, and, yeah,
Fair enough.
all right. I think that's, you're good?
I'm good.
You're good. I mean, everything else is, it's great. Looks like a lovely place.
Great. Thank you for your help. So we continue till next week?
So we are, yes, the 11th?
I can certainly
No,
make
Oh,
eh,
my God.
all those revisions by then.
It is the 8th, sorry.
Is this gonna be posted on this meeting, posted online for review, or?
It is.
Oh, that's perfect.
It
We went
is.
through a lot,
YouTube.
so I'd love to just be able to watch it again.
YouTube?
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I
guys.
don't know when how quickly it gets posted, but soon.
All right, great.
It's gonna be at 7 next week? It's gonna be at 7 as well?
7 o'clock, yeah. Does that
So I'll
work for
have
you?
to
That works.
post
Does
that.
that work for you?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
I'll have to post that tomorrow, right?
Yes. And Corinne, can you make it?
Hmm?
Can you make it? Okay. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to continue the hearing for lot 3B Crouch Road until Tuesday, the 8th of July at 7 o'clock.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye, Philip Woodford.
Karen Dusty.
Aye, Joyce Ihacker.
Have a good night.
All right,
Thank
thank you. Can you sign these? Because you're gonna be gone?
I will. Just shred it if you're not voting on it.
Exactly. All right, is there anything else on our agenda?
I think that's it.
Okay, it's just weird that there's nothing, right?
It feels like a light meeting, right?
It does.
Well, I think because you changed the time, that maybe that's why.
Change the day, yeah.
Oh,
A week
right.
early.
I signed them.
Okay, and then Corinne, I just have this. Oh. This is like Dean Street, and I responded to this person. Although this is like incredibly thorough. Have you ever heard back from? I'm looking into purchasing the following properties. One of them was
Never
Dean's.
heard back from them, no.
And I sent an answer, okay. But wow, you found like all kinds of stuff. All right. I think that's for one of the properties. I don't know if these are copies or these just go back to you, but I'm gonna return this to you.
Okay.
Your pile is right there. Okay. Colin,
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye, Philip Woodford.
Karen Dusty.
Aye, Joyce Ihacker.
Quick and easy.
Yeah. All right, so,
Come back with some soils information and I'll send you that field data sheet.
and I think that we should, I'm